I'm Zach Harris, and this is For the Love of Sports, broadcasting live on the Fox Sports 980 and 95.9 FM. Also on our free iHeartRadio app, just search Fox Sports 980. And if you want to reach the show on Facebook, at For the Love of Sports, at Fox Sports 980. Also on Instagram, at the number 4_the love of sports, or you can tweet at the show, at the number 4_ love of sports. If you're old school, want to call into the show, already had two good calls beforehand. If you want to talk about the Knicks, 3 days away from the Knicks season. You want to talk some Knicks, 518-690-0980, 518-690-0980. So let's go on and get into it. The Knicks open up on the road Wednesday, October 23rd, against the San Antonio Spurs. Now, this game may have a little bit more of a meaning to it because if you remember, Marcus Morris decided he was going to sign with the Spurs, and before he actually signed his contract, he pulled back and said, let me reevaluate my situation and go ahead and signs with the New York Knicks. So maybe there's a little more tough love, hardcore going on in that game for Game 1 of an 82 NBA season. So, news came out the other day, and you take a look at it. Knicks New York head coach David Fizdale is going to have his hands full juggling his rotation this season. Reports already coming out that some Knicks players are unhappy with their playing time. It is preseason, guys. Let's take a second and relax. First of all, everybody's going to be unhappy with their playing time. We all want more. And that's what makes us great Americans, is that we strive for more. We always strive for more. Now you get a roster like this, where yes, there's no A-plus players, but there's a bunch of good B-, B-plus players on this squad. More so this year than any previous year. So you take a look at why we should be excited, why we should chill out and not think same old Knicks when we read this headline. Because this is year 2 of David Fizdale. There's been turnover from last year up until this year. Some of it mid-season last year, like the trade for Dennis Smith Jr. You get some more players up in there. Alonzo Trier, a nice little surprise last year. David Fizdale gets his players. They're young, they have talent, they're motivated, and guess what? There's all the reason in the world to be optimistic. If you take a look at a potential starting lineup of 21-year-old Dennis Smith Jr., 19-year-old Maple Mamba RJ Barrett, 30-year-old Marcus Morris, 24-year-old acquisition in the offseason, the star acquisition for the New York Knicks of Julius Randle at 24 years old, and then, of course, a second-round pick 2 years ago of Mitchell Robinson, who's 21 years old, that's shown the ability to be a Clint Capella type player, a Tyson Chandler type player, a Marcus Camby type of player. This is not a bad lineup. Now, pump the brakes on them making the postseason. Is it possible? Yes. But more optimistic view is take a look at these guys. They're going to win 30, 35, at the very most 40 games. And if they can win 40 games, they're going to be on the brink of the playoffs. But you take a look at this team, it doesn't matter how much they win. It doesn't matter if they make the postseason this year or not. It's year 2 of Fizdale. It's year 2 of Kevin Knox. It's year 1 of RJ Barrett. This is all about development. And I like the fact that they ended up bringing in Marcus Morris, because this guy is a great veteran for this team. You got a young team. Kevin Knox can learn from Marcus Morris and grow into the power forward that we think he can be, or the small forward if he decides to go that route, with Julius Randle handling the power forward situation. They bring in Bobby Portis, 24 years old. All the talent in the world, he just has to put it together. Alfred Payton, we've seen him be very productive. Then you go ahead and bring in more veterans, Wayne Ellington, Taj Gibson, and like we talked about, Marcus Morris. These are quality veterans that are going to help this team. Hey, we might not score a lot. Hey, we might not be able to hit a lot of threes, but we are damn sure going to play some grind out defense and keep ourselves in the game. We're going to be respectable. We're going to eventually improve as the year goes on. This is David Fizdale's chance to put a stamp on his own team. We've seen him do it with older players in Memphis and as an assistant in Miami with LeBron there and stuff. He has the respect. He's earned the respect as a head coach. This is his opportunity to put a stamp on the Knicks. Now, I'm not asking for 50 wins. Would it be nice? Oh, yeah. After the 20 years of turmoil for this Knicks fan, yes, 50 wins would be great, but stay the course. January, one of my resolutions for the year was to the New York Knicks, stay the course. This was the Knicks' resolution. Stay the course. Don't stray away from the plan. And the plan was, and still is, bring in young players, bring in the right talent, and improve. This is not the Knicks of old, where James Dolan forces his hand and brings in a older Tracy McGrady, an over Stevie franchise, of Bargnani from Toronto, Eddie Curry. This is not that kind of squad. And you know what? I think this is perfect for this team to be able to improve, because being in New York, the media is harsh. And we've been waiting 20 years for a consistently good Knicks team. Have we gotten a good team here and there? Yeah. Carmelo and Amari brought them into the playoffs. They got a series win. But we've been waiting 20 years to get a consistently good Knicks team. And why I think we could be on the way to that consistently good Knicks team is, you take a look at Brooklyn, you take a look at Boston, you take a look at Philadelphia, the list goes on. Did they add Kevin Durant? No. Did the Knicks add Kevin Durant? No. Did the Knicks add Kyrie Irving? No. Did they add Kemba Walker? Did they add Tobias Harris? Did they add Jimmy Butler? No. But what they did is not overspend their money. They didn't go, hey, let me go to Marcus Morris and say, here's $30 million a year, or whatever the case may be, max out his contract. No. They didn't go to Julius Randle and say, here's a 4-year contract maxed out, over $100 million. No. They brought him in on a respectable 3-year deal, which 2 years is guaranteed, third-year team option. You take a look at a lot of the players they brought in: Bobby Portis, Reggie Bullock, Marcus Morris, Alfred Payton. A lot of these guys they brought in on 1-year, team year option for year 2. They spent their money wisely. This is a nice, young core of players. And don't forget about Frank Ntilikina, the Frenchman, the French Prince of Bel-Air. Only 21 years old. He's starting to try to get a little bit of confidence. Is his shot there yet? No. But he can pass the ball, and he's the best defender that the Knicks have. And when you have a lineup of Dennis Smith Jr., R.J. Barrett, Marcus Morris, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson, you're going to need more defenders on the court. And Frank Ntilikina, love him or hate him, last year he was one of the best defenders at the guard position in the league. Don't give up on him just yet. He's 21 years old. He may never be a Steph Curry, a Klay Thompson, a Bradley Beal, a John Wall. But he's a very good defender. If he can turn into a 3-and-D player, like an Andre Iguodala, where he makes smart passes and can handle the ball, but is more off the ball and then plays defense, That's a win for the Knicks. And I don't think you want to consider it as a win because where he was drafted so high, but that was the old regime. We're on with the new regime. Scott Perry's a very smart basketball mind. David Fizdale is a very smart basketball-minded head coach. Let them do their job. And you know what? They're not going to be under the microscope. They didn't sign a Kyrie. They didn't sign a Kevin Durant. They didn't sign Kemba Walker. They didn't sign Al Horford. They're going under the radar. And that's different for a New York team that always has the media on their back. Well, lucky for them and kind of unlucky for them because they did want Kyrie and Kevin Durant in some aspect, but they both went to the Nets, who now reside in Brooklyn. So now that New York media is going to be all Kyrie, 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 Kevin, Kevin, Kevin. New York Knicks going to slide right underneath. Avoid that microscope. And they'll have all the time to improve this year. So don't look at it as a failure this year if they don't win more than 40 games. And 40 games is at the most. Take a look at it as this Knicks team is going to improve. The young core, a young core with talent, improving under second-year head coach for the Knicks, David Fizdale. I'm Zach Harrison. This is For the Love of Sports on Fox Sports 980.